and also break my heart. But we'll take solace in the fact that something interesting happened to humanity. If you are ready, I am more than ready. Oh my God. This is the African history class. And this is Blakk Rasta. Our class today will last only 7 minutes. Watch it. This is the person we're talking about today. And you can see this person on the board. Neerja Bhanot. Neerja Bhanot. That's an Indian name, right? N-E-E-R-J-A. For Neerja. And Bhanot is B-H-A-N-O-T. Neerja Bhanot. She was a flight attendant. She did something and she became the youngest to be given the highest award of India. Today, my brother, my sister, if you are ready, open your eyes and ears. This is the class. Neerja Bhanot was born in Chandigarh in India, and she was born on the 7th of September 1963. That was the same year, my brother, my sister, that so many things happened to the African unity, the Organization of African Unity. She was born in the month of my birth, 7th September 1963. She was born. And she was born in Chandigarh, right there in India. My brother, my sister. Now, when she was born, she was a very lively girl, very beautiful. Her father was determined to see that she would rise to the highest level of education. Her family believed in education, and therefore, when she was growing up, the father got her a private teacher to teach her. And there she was, very studious. She loved her books. The father was a professional journalist who worked with one of the biggest press houses in India, Bombay to be specific. He was called Harish Bhanot. Harish Bhanot. He was a Bombay-based journalist. And our heroine's mother was called Rama, R-A-M-A, Bhanot. She had two brothers, Akhil and Anish Bhanot. In fact, she received her early schooling at home before she made it to the Sacred Heart Senior Secondary School in Chandigarh, her hometown. When the family moved to Bombay for her father to take a new appointment in his journalism career with a new press house, she had to move her studies to the Bombay Scottish School. And there she studied some English. And she was a very studious girl, so pretty. She graduated and went all the way to St. Xavier's College in Bombay, where she graduated again. It was in Bombay. She was first spotted by one modeling agent that she had modeling legs. She was beautiful and she naturally modeled when she walked. And therefore they encouraged her to model. And she modeled. And she was successful with her modeling career. But somebody also met her and said, you see your figure, you will do so well as a flight attendant. Oh, if only she knew. She would have just stayed with her modeling career. And then she applied. At that time, Pan Am Airlines. How many of us remember Pan Am Airlines? My brother, my sister, Pan Am Airline was a Pan-American World Airways flight from Bombay all the way in India to New York the United States of America. Pan Am was owned by America. But it flew India, America. Oh gosh. And they decided that that year, they were going to employ only Indians because of their collaboration with India. And our heroine for today, Neerja Bhanot, decided to apply. When she applied, she was picked up by the Americans. Her slender legs, the way she walked, she was so brisk. And again, she could cook very well. So they flew her all the way to America, Florida, to be trained as a flight attendant in 1985. In fact, in 1985, I was only 11 years old when she became a flight attendant. After her training, she returned to India. But instead of becoming the flight attendant and that air hostess that she had been trained to do, she rather became a purser. Purser. P-U-R-E-S-E-R. P-U-R-S-E-R. Who is a purser? The word comes from purse. And you know, in your purse you keep money. A purser is somebody who keeps money on a ship. But on the plane, she became a purser. She was the person who became the administrator of the plane. Sometimes she cooked. Other times, she was that air hostess that talked to so many different people. My brother, my sister, today we are talking about Neerja Bhanot. And if you look at her here, oh my God, have mercy. You will see her wearing, as you can see on the board, wearing her flight attendant dress. She was ready to fly. Her father was so proud of her. She had become extremely successful. Modeling, she made money. Now there was an Indian actor that she loved so much. And this Indian actor, oh my God, she quoted every time. My brother, my sister, who was this Indian actor? He was called Rajesh Khanna. And Rajesh Khanna was regarded as India's very first superstar of Bollywood. He was the highest paid Indian actor in Bollywood from 1969 all the way to 1971. Our heroine for today loved this actor and quoted him all her life. Everything she said, she would say, Rajesh Khanna said, and she would quote this man, sing songs that this man sang in the movies. Sometimes she would even dress like the man and put on a fake mustache. Oh my God. She was so much in love with this actor and quoted him every time. So she was now on the flight. And look at the interesting thing that happened. She had a lot of calls to come and do photo shoots. She had a lot of calls to come and model, international modeling. And she told them, you know what? I am on the flight. I am an air hostess right now. Don't worry. When I go on break, I will come and deal with modeling. Little did she know that she would never return to modeling again. My brother, this is where the tears come. In 1985, she became an air hostess and a purser for Pan Am, an American flight. Oh my gosh. She was the senior flight purser on Pan Am Flight 73. Note that. Flying from Bombay to the United States via Karachi. And Karachi, not Karachi, Karachi. Karachi is in Pakistan, right? Karachi is the largest city in Pakistan and the 12th largest in the world with a population of over 20 million people. Karachi, my brother, my sister. So the flight will take off from Bombay, fly all the way to Karachi in Pakistan, take off again, and go all the way to New York City, the JFK airport. My brother, my sister, sometimes they will go through Frankfurt in Germany. My brother, my sister, on the 5th of September, in fact, 2.5 days after my birthday, this plane took off. 2 days to the birthday of our heroine. And her father had called her to tell her, the family is ready. Remember, it's going to be your birthday in 2 days. I'm glad that you will return to India on the day that you were born, so that we will celebrate your 23rd birthday. Did you tell me that you had a boyfriend? And she said, no. I said that he proposed love to me, but I have not accepted it yet. When I come home, I will bring him so that you will endorse him. You know that your endorsement is my endorsement too. I cannot decide whether I want him or not until you tell me. And the mother laughed. In those days in India, that was how it worked. So she was coming home on her birthday to introduce her boyfriend, a boy who had proposed love to her, to the parents. But see what happened. On that day, the 5th day of September in 1986, barely 1 year after she had been picked and employed as a flight attendant, she was on the plane from Bombay carrying almost 400 passengers. Specifically, it was carrying 380 passengers and 13 crew members. In other words, they were about 393 people, almost 400. My brother, my sister, the plane took off, was gliding in the air. Oh, it started flying nice and good. Then it stabilized. And when the pilot announced that your seat belts could now be loosened, but remember that food would be served in no time. We're going to begin with tea so that sumptuous meals will be served later. Oh my God. It was at that point 4 terrorists had come off their seats, pulled out guns, and asked everybody to lie down flat on their bellies. But there was not enough space for all of them to lie down. Remember, there were about 400 people on the plane. So they asked all of them to sit down and never move. If you feel like going to the toilet, do it where you are. If you feel like urinating, urinate right there. And if you talk, you will be shot. My brother, my sister, the terrorists wanted to fly to Cyprus with the goal of freeing Palestinian prisoners in Cyprus. Bhanot was able to alert the cockpit crew as soon as the hijackers boarded the plane. And as the plane was on the apron, the 3-member cockpit crew of pilot, co-pilot, and the flight engineer fled from the aircraft through an overhead hatch in the cockpit. As the most senior cabin crew member, Bhanot took charge of the situation inside the plane. So you see what happened? The moment the hijackers started making noise, the pilots were quickly told, and they quickly came back, and boom, they landed the plane in the same airport. My brother, my sister, that they just took off from. And instead of having the pilots do justice, they rather escaped from the windows of the plane. Those of you who have been in the aeroplane before, the pilot has a way of leaving the plane without going through the main door that everybody takes. So all the pilots that our air hostess had gone to speak to, that day there was a pilot, a co-pilot, and a pilot engineer, or a plane engineer. they all escaped from the plane and ran away, leaving every other person in the plane to their fate. And look at what our heroine for today did. The hijackers were part of the Abu Nidal organization, a Palestinian terrorist organization backed by Libya, and they were targeting Americans and American assets. Now, in the early minutes of the hijacking, they identified an Indian-American citizen, dragged him to the exit, shot him dead, and threw his body from the plane. And everybody saw that at the airport. My God. The terrorists then instructed Bhanot to collect the passports of the passengers so that they could identify the other Americans on board so they could shoot them. She and the other attendants, under her charge, hid the passports of the remaining Americans. And how many were there? There were a total of 44 Americans on the plane. One had been shot. And the rest of them, they hid their passports. And some of them hid them. My brother, my sister, the other documents they had, they hid them. After 17 hours on the plane, the hijackers opened fire and set off explosives. Bhanot opened one of the airplane doors. And even though she could have been the first to jump out of the plane, she refused to do that. Rather asked the passengers to all jump out of the plane before the plane exploded. And children and people on the plane were all coming down. She was pushing them out quickly while she herself was in the plane, knowing very well that the plane was about to explode. 2 days to her birthday. My brother, my sister, this was what happened. Now, according to a surviving passenger, she was guiding the passengers to the emergency exit. That was when the terrorists became so angry and started shooting everybody there. A child on board at that time was 7 years old. My brother, my sister, was also shot. A number of people were shot before our heroine was also executed in cold blood. She was shot and killed. She could have left the plane. When she told the pilots that the plane had been hijacked, they escaped through a door in the cockpit. When the terrorists asked for the American passports, she hid all of them. And when they started firing and detonating explosives, she opened the emergency exit and asked the passengers to come out. She succeeded in getting a number of people out of the plane. And the plane, my brother, my sister, had the explosives blasting. She died at the age of 22, leaving her family behind. She never met her boyfriend that she was going to introduce to the mother. She never celebrated her birthday, and she left her modeling career behind. When she died, her favorite actor, when he was told, attended the funeral. He cried a gallon full of tears. Neerja Bhanot. She was commemorated in India with the biggest award of the land. It is called the Ashoka Chakra, the highest award. It's like the Order of the Volta right here. They gave it to her. And there was a movie made called Neerja. You need to find that movie and watch it. Books have been written about her. Neerja is the 2016 Indian movie that you need to watch. My brother, my sister, today we remember this great black woman. Black in the sense that on the day, there were so many black people on the plane. And she went to the section of the black, opened the exit door, and asked them to jump out. And they did. Yeah. Oh, mommy. Yeah, mommy, me no go. Look at her. Look at her lying in state. Yeah, mommy. Me no go wate. Mommy, wouldn't you me go? Me say wouldn't you me go wate? Yeah, mommy, oh yeah. Oh, mommy. Akakachere se obewu. 2 days to her birthday. She could have jumped out of the plane. Even the men who were the pilots jumped out. She stayed, opened the gates, and asked everybody to come out. Oh, Neerja, Bhanot. Unyamiko wate. Mese unyamiko ramene ubeko wate. Yeah, mommy. In the burden of knowledge, I ask you, now that you know, what would you do? Be an any olea mini obafe and zunda kagane mezaka yini. Yeah, papango bokaya nfifia enyanu kaina wo. Bana enwe be den lele anjima singa be kunne. Lele anjima singa berry. This is Neerja Bhanot. Oh!
Tu babi, papa mula home, mama mula.